Let's explore a little bit. What is flight levels? Well, flight levels is a way of thinking and a way of understanding the organization that allows us to tell where in the organization we need to do what to be able to achieve the results that we're looking for. But we really want to understand how that change is going to map to some kind of substantial improvement and try to find the smallest possible amount of change in order to have the effect that we're looking for. We do this by using 5 activities across 3 levels, and I'm going to take you through those. So, what are the 5 activities? First up, we have visualize the situation. The idea here is that we want to be able to build some visual representation of the work and the items that we are trying to make changes to so that we can understand a little bit of how they flow and interact across the different teams and departments within your organization. Second, we need to be able to create focus. This is really about being clear on what the most important things to do are, and so that we can resolve some of the dependencies and scheduling challenges that we may have between the teams, departments, and functions within an organization. Third, we need to establish some kind of agile interactions between the layers within an organization and between multiple areas of the team. Fourth, we need to measure progress, because of course we want to be able to tell if the things that we are making changes to are actually making improvements, but also which parts of what we're doing are already working quite well. So if you think of this perhaps a little bit more like a loop, start at the beginning, we'd roughly work our way through, it actually loops, and we are constantly doing this as a continuous improvement cycle. Many of you may have seen something a little bit like this, say a level 2 or level 3 visual board. Something like this may be across multiple teams, across multiple departments, and what this allows us to do is really understand and see what's going on in the organization. And we would use this for the operational decision-making and flow management. One more thing that is important to understand about this is that really what we're doing is we're applying all of these at multiple levels. So very often in an organization, we focus, as we looked at before, on just the development or the creation part of building the work. So we need to be able to do this at multiple levels, not just at the team level. And that really is part of the key of flight levels. So if you think about level 1 as operational, this is where the work gets done. Probably we have multiple teams, and these teams work on multiple things. Typically what happens then is that as a result of having multiple teams, we need to coordinate their efforts. So what we do is we get together and we visualize the work again at a higher level. You might have something, say, like stories or tasks at the operational level. You might have something like projects or initiatives at level 2. This is where we make decisions about, when should that team start the work? How do we hand off work between the teams so that we're keeping the flow going? Level 2 we call end-to-end coordination. This allows us to improve the full value flow from idea to money. In many organizations, or as we get bigger, we may end up with multiple coordination systems. In many cases, we may choose to do something like this, where we map all of these things together on multiple flows. Maybe we have 2 or 3 products and we want to manage the dependencies across all of these. Or we may actually do something where we create multiple of these boards and we need to handle some interaction between them. Every company has something like a strategy, and we want to be able to connect the strategy to what we're doing in the operational and the coordination space. So what we start to see when we're introducing flight levels is that by introducing a level 3 strategy visualization, have the entire company aware of not only what is happening at the strategy level, but how that maps down to the operational level. What we see now is we actually end up with 3 layers. One thing that's important to emphasize here is that a lot of people think about this as layers in a hierarchy. Now, this is really not the way we think about this. If you imagine an airplane, if I want to see a view, maybe I take a chopper, I fly close to the ground, I see a little bit of detail. It's a very different experience to if I get in a very fast plane, I jump up to a high level and I fly in the jet stream. The idea here is not that level 1 is better than level 2 or level 2 is better than level 1. The idea is basically that we need to connect all of the different levels, because at each level we need to make different decisions about what is happening, and we need to be able to coordinate and resolve different types of challenges. Something else, if you haven't already had a chance to read the book that we've published, Rethinking Agile, goes into a little bit more detail, but it can be a great way to learn a bit further, maybe do it as a... Yeah. And the last thing I want to mention is the Flight Club. We do a live stream roughly every 2 weeks. At the moment, it's hosted primarily by Klaus and myself. You can find us either on meetup.com or you can jump on YouTube and you can watch all of the previous episodes as well.